You do not pick partnerships based on pleasure. You pick partnerships based on purpose. And I think that's where a lot of people get messed up. There are a lot of people you can be compatible with, but they're not going in the same direction as you. If me and you were to say right now, let's go to Disney World, there are probably 15 different paths to get there. Like, and there are some people that are like, well, let me stop way over here and let me go over here. But if we were riding in the same car together, we would have to go on the same road, on the same highway, getting to the same place because our purpose was to go to this destination. I think a big part of my burden for our generation when it comes to business partnerships, relationships, all those things is to pick partners for purpose, not just for pleasure.
Yes.
Because the pleasure wears off when you get in a pit. Like when it ain't working, when we lost the money, when you used to dress up for me and now you looking like a grandma, like all of those things, that's when you have to pick partners that you remember. Why did we get together? What was the purpose of this? What did we say we were going to do? And so a lot of times when people are starting to date and have fun and do all the different things, they're not thinking purpose. And it's hard to think purpose when you have not spent enough time with yourself personally.
That's true.
So, because you don't know, like the only way, again, congratulations to you and your beautiful fiance. But part of the reason y'all connect is because of where y'all both want to collectively go.
100%.
If she wanted to be in a different country as a scuba diver instructor and you knew you were supposed to be here doing this, it would conflict with what you could do together.
Yeah.
And maybe you could be in a relationship for a while and then you start saying, hey, I miss you. And she was like, well, the fish, I love the fish. Like, and I'm being very sarcastic, but what I'm saying is that is what a lot of our relationships looks like. It's like the sex is bomb, we connect physically, but our purposes don't align. And so.
And it can only last so long.
Oh my God.
To have that sexual chemistry or connection all by itself.
That never has worked. If that worked, all relationships would be together. Like the truth of the matter is
divorce.
There would be no divorce. And that's why I say again in relationship goals, like there is a formula and a pattern that I believe that has been set out, that has worked from generation to generation to generation, that if you get the right relationships right first, if you get the relationship right with yourself, the relationship right with God, and then you can get the relationship right with somebody else, then that pattern takes you to where you need to be.
What I'm hearing you say is that when you're in alignment with your higher purpose,
yes,
and when you're in alignment with your own individual purpose of who you are, you'll start to align with someone else and you'll start to see, okay, we're on the right track together. And maybe you like different things, but we have a similar idea about a vision and a value system for our life.
And then what happens is the most magical part.
Tell me.
Is that you guys make each other better. So my purpose, I thought I had a purpose until I met my wife. And when we got together, it was like, oh, I thought it was going to happen like this. We are greater together. That's where the scripture says 2 are better than 1, because they have great success on their investment. And 2 are better than 1 because if one falls, the other one can be there to pick them up. How can one stay warm by itself? No, they need each other. Like there is exponential growth. There is exponential clarity. There is exponential success when 2 people are going the same way for purpose and they're in partnership.
Interesting.
And that's why a lot of times I just tell people it's very hard to pick a partner if you don't know the purpose. If you are starting a company and you're doing tech and somebody else is doing agriculture, that's not the partner you would pick. You would pick somebody in that same space so that y'all could go the same way together.
But what about someone like you? You met your wife when you were in high school sweethearts. You didn't really know what your purpose was at that point.
No.
You just were like, we just want to, we like each other. We love each other. We want to be together. Let's do this. Let's have fun. Let's be together. You know, and I think a lot of people, not that that's wrong, but a lot of people get into relationship out of attraction, likability, and then they start loving each other. And they're just like, let's just be together without asking the questions about purpose. So if someone's already gotten into a relationship and they're like, we don't have a purpose, how can they create that as opposed to just end the relationship? And how can they make sure that they're both in alignment?
So what I would encourage everybody to do, and this is why I encourage you, if you have teenagers or if you have young kids or anything, you need to get them relationship goals, because there's just certain things that if it's not talked about or you're not known, like you're just going to fall into crap. And then you're going to have to deal with the consequences. So like, I don't think people should do that. But this is a practical step that people can do. You need to go somewhere that you guys like as a couple and have a vision retreat.
Dude, I did this with Martha.
You did it?
After 3 months of dating her, before we got committed, we went to Sedona.
Okay.
And we did a vision retreat.
Yes.
A vision and a values retreat.
I love it.
We both had a journal. I told her to bring a journal. I took her to the top of a vortex. I don't know if you've ever been to Sedona, but essentially a rock. It's supposed to have like energy or something, right?
Gotcha.
So we went to the top of a rock, and I said, listen, I'm going to do an exercise for us. Put in some like meditative music, just us two up there, sunset. I said, I want you to dream about the future, about what you want to create in your future and our potential future.
Yeah.
And I would love for you for a few minutes to write down all of your main values in your life now and what you're going to value in the future, at least what you think you're going to value.
Yeah.
Maybe some stuff changes, but at least your core values. And she did this exercise, and I did it separately on a different piece of paper. And I did the same thing because I didn't want us to be influenced by seeing someone else's. And we brought them together and we said, let's review this. And it's kind of a moment of truth. Do our values align? And thankfully, our values were very much in alignment. And, maybe there's a few things that she had different than me and vice versa.
That's beautiful.
But I was like, okay, cool. I have no problem with that. And she had no problem with mine. So we aligned, and that gave me clarity and peace.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, what is our vision for a relationship? What is the vision that you want? Because maybe it's completely different than what I want. So we both did that exercise, and we came together and we said, this is the vision. And it's really to have a purposeful relationship, to be a relationship that is of service to each other and to the world.
People. That's beautiful.
And since we were both in alignment, I was like, man, I feel really peaceful. Let's make this happen.
Yeah.
Let's commit to this.
But let's think about it. What is an alignment? If you take your car in for an alignment, what they do is they lift it up and they start making sure that everything is balanced.
Yes.
So that we can actually get back on the rough road and still stay together.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
not fall apart.
Not fall apart.
That's true. Wheels don't want the wheels to fall off.
And we don't want one wheel to be low, so it makes us drift a certain way. And so I would just encourage couples, business partners, friends that may have gone through different seasons, because that's what me and Natalie had to do. I went from a boy to a man. And so we had to revision every decade.
Wow.
And I would encourage every relationship to do that. Revision every decade.
All right.
You're not the same when you're in small kids to now you have teenagers. You're not the same to when you have teenagers to when they're out the house. And a lot of people that have great relationships in one season have horrible relationships in a different season because they've never revisioned.
Wow.
They've never okay, the kids are gone. Like, what do we value now?
Yeah, and your vision when you were 17 together is different than your vision now.
It's completely different because of the trials we've been through, the trauma we've been through, the triumphs we've experienced, as well as the world we live in.
Right.
I mean, the world we live in now compared to when we were 18, 19 is completely different. And so I would just encourage people get a vision and values. I love that. That's a beautiful ad. A vision and values retreat or some time and just really realign. And when you add the faith component into that and you add the family component into that, it changes the focus. Faith, family, focus. When you get that together, bro, it then gives you motivation of why you go to work.